Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. We open on the quarantined planet of Goros Prime following three aliens called Arisians. They're an elite commando unit from their homeworld of Ares and have come to rescue kidnapped members of the royal family. The villain Sinjin has abducted the prince and princess and wears this mask because he's become so powerful that half of his head popped off. Princess Caliope throws some roundhouses in an effort to escape, but they're like throwing grapes at her adversary and he doesn't have time for it. When left alone, another prisoner named Kor'Rok emerges from the shadows like, "Hey, I'm also here," but Prince Tyre doesn't trust him. Meanwhile, the rescue team is ambushed by corpses reanimated by insects, which are part of the reason why nobody comes to this planet. The titular hero Saber Raine guns down the last few undead as he's made some mistakes in his career, so here we are. The mercenary's name comes from the saber that he throws around, still carried from his days as a fancy-dressed space captain. In a flashback, we're shown human fighters battling Xorians who've broken through a blockade around the lizard people's homeworld. The Terran cross streams into a virtual fire hose of energy, allowing them to bring down the shield of a Xorian woman named Crotalus. They're about to pulverize her into lizard stew when Saber pops up like, "Hey guys, I've got it from here, you can all go home." Since he was a decorated veteran, the pilots don't harm the traitor but follow a higher-ranking officer's orders to waste that gecko. To save her life, Captain Raine fired on his own side, so they all fired back, but Saber's ship, the Gladiator, comes with plot armor. He then evaded capture by dropping a bomb on the command ship, whose Admiral Steele sums up the movie perfectly.
Damn you, Saber.
That guy somehow survived, but this is why Saber hangs out on quarantined planets taking random jobs from people like Commander Voss. The knuckle-dragging Grell argues with Saber for the entire journey because he considers him a traitor, and rightfully so because he traded. While Fade is a scout and Voss's daughter, but simply here to keep giving our lead the big red googly eyes. As for why they don't have more men to rescue the royal family, they say that this is all who were chosen, which isn't an answer. Sinjin also stole something called the Mana Stone, which has the power to destroy entire star systems, but it spends the entire movie cooking. The rescue team visits Saber's friend who owns a small pawnshop on a planet with no customers and has a golem for a bodyguard. Jax checks out Fade like he's thinking of making an offer, but then gives them the location of the bad guy's base in exchange for a battery instead. It's called an Arisian power cylinder, which is some kind of super battery powered by the Mana Stone and in turn powers the good guys' everything else. Bored of explanations, Saber blasts the rock guy that was doing nothing in the corner and demands Jax spill the space beans. The purveyor of information says that the villain is squatting in a place called the Ruins, which is obvious just by looking at them. Inside, a few of Sinjin's supporters don't seem very supportive as the big-headed alien says they're growing bored with waiting. I think his name is Talos, while an insectoid alien race called the Quintari have aligned themselves with the Dark Lord, as well as a slaver named Little Lorthos. Halfhead says that his power is beyond their full brain's comprehension, then orders one of his guards to attack, but it's shot down. Sinjin is just demonstrating his acolyte's ability to resurrect, as they're just people with crystals stuck in their foreheads. He orders the lieutenants to go play somewhere else while the siblings plan their escape in the dungeon. The prince doesn't trust Kor'Rok so much that he knocks him out so he can discuss with his sister making a deal with the devil. The guards take the human away for torture, so the prince requests an audience with Sinjin to make an exchange for his sister's life. Before he can even ask anything, the villain reveals that he's not just some random halfhead but a former member of the Arisian royal family. He was betrayed by his own people and turned into a popsicle, so now he wants to use the Mana Stone to get revenge on Tyre's parents. Princess Caliope reveals that she's already chosen to throw in with her great-uncle or whoever he is and was the one who thought him out. She has no real motivation for going evil, and her brother even calls her out on it, saying that father always found her a bit of a douchebag. While the kids bicker, the so-called cyborgs take the other prisoner to a torture chamber where he manages to swipe the jail key. One of the guards puts on a mechanical oven mitt to subdue him with a bright red special effect and straps him down to a chair with magical lightning. They hack off his hand and replace it with the same Ninja Turtle-looking glove, then toss him back in the cell with the prince. Meanwhile, Saber gets asked by Fade why he betrayed his people, and he says basically what we already know, that it was to save a lizard. Now he's seen as more of a hero and less treasonous, but not to Grell, who breaks up their chat as we have somewhere to be. This area of the planet disrupts their technology, which is why they're walking, and the battlecruiser they arrived in is just for decoration. At one point, their ship's AI sends a few recon drones out to scout ahead, but they just fall out of the sky when nearing the ruins. The team head deeper into the wilderness when finding people being attacked by rubber-masked humanoids called annelids that drain blood with massive needles. They throw toxic slugs and see everything in heat vision, but our rescue teams passing through so decide to protect the locals. It's all rather easy, but as Saber and Grell argue over something meaningless, more needle wielders arrive and impale Voss through the back. The commander dies in Fade's arms, and his daughter gets slug side-armed in the neck before passing out from the toxin. When Rill is hit with one, he manages to shoot the alien before collapsing, while Raine fights a few off but is eventually tranquilized like the others. Before they can be taken, however, Crotalus saves them, as she's been following for a while and just needed a dramatic moment to re-enter the movie. The Xorian treats their wounds with plants or something and builds an effigy to ward off further attacks from human mosquitoes. Once they've recovered, the party minus Voss get closer while Crotalus laments how her lizard parts aren't compatible with Saber's. Finally arriving at the ruins, the group are ambushed by Sinjin's forces, but Rill just tanks the oven mitt and fires back. Sinjin witnesses them kill his guards through the stone and brain technology, so orders his lieutenants to go outside and fight the intruders. Big Head gets in the shuttle with the Quintari fleet while Caliope goes out on foot with Lorthos and a big bug. Saber disappeared without the party noticing, while the princess orders them to drop their weapons with a couple of undead oven mitts. Inside the castle, Kor'Rok is thrown back into his cell where he passes out, but not before giving the key that he stole to Tyre. The prince escapes the prison and collects a pair of swords from a guard on his way out, as he's pretty efficient with a blade. His sister claims her brother is dead and that we're all friends here, but Tyre kills a guard to say no, we isn't on both fronts. Saber springs out from behind some bushes and kills the Quintari, who was probably the least threatening out of everyone here.
I hate bugs.
There's a big shootout in which everyone seems to split up and go their own ways while trying to rescue the prince from the never-running servants. He holds his own with his martial arts skills until getting hit by an oven mitt that all seem to have varying levels of mortality rate. Before we can see how lethal the next shot is, Tyre is saved by Kor'Rok, who is fortunately equipped with the most powerful mitten. Rill continues to tank every shot fired at him until they get pinned down by Lorthos, who goes crazy with his space shotgun. Crotalus thinks that it'll be easier to charge a guy with a shotgun than using her rifle at range, and it works because he doesn't check his flanks. Lorthos is killed off-screen when the Quintari fleet shows up, but the Eurasian ship has got the drones flying again. It bombards them directly into the enemy fighters, blowing everyone up except for the big-brained lieutenant. During this time, Saber captures the princess, but he's too busy wisecracking and listening to bribes to take her seriously. A drone flying overhead distracts Saber, getting him disarmed, but he leg sweeps the princess and we get a sword fight between the two. We get some metal clashing and a few twirlies, but nothing really eventful until Big Head shows up in the Quintari ship. The princess escapes while Saber is chased into the tree line, where the rest of the team is just there waiting to do something. Before they can fire on Big Head, their ship arrives and blows him out of the sky instead, as it's now able to fly in the area. Sinjin has turned off the Manastone oven and plans to flee with Caliope in a rocket ship before the good guys arrive. Since there's nobody inside the castle except for maybe hundreds of prisoners, the Eurasians fly their intelligent ship straight into it. The entire fortress blows up, but Sinjin and the princess shoot out on a rocket into space to return in a sequel that never happened. Our group walk all the way back to Saber's ship and fly to the aliens' homeworld of Ares, where Tyre commands the small council to go after his sister. Kandra, Sin of the Sentinel Sisters, and Xorian of the Ghost Nebula agree, but Admiral Steele is still angry about Saber defecting. It's King Tyr now, so he says I don't care, gives Captain Raine a pardon and makes him a citizen of Ares because nobody can stop him. Meanwhile, the captain has a new woman and crew, but nothing beats the luxurious hair that Rill had under that helmet. He gives Saber a gun as his only show of affection the whole movie, and they depart the world to hopefully save the universe. The final scene shows Caliope and her uncle on some desolate planet planning to use the Mana Stone to awaken an army of automatons. Sinjin says that when the princess learns to control the magic he possesses, the top half of her head will also fall off. And the movie ends.
It's always gotta be the hard way.